lose. It was a very hard loss. I don't think I've ever been so visibly pissed off after a loss. And I think everyone felt the same way. So hopefully we can use that as motivation going forward. There's things across the board that we need to do a better job of, and we can do a better job of, and that's where our focus is going to be this week.
Powerful sound by Tom Brady. We learned last night that New England is actually not invincible or unbeatable. And just take a look at the injuries to Brady's bunch. The good news, though, is that Rob Gronkowski's knee injury appears to not be serious, according to our Adam Schefter. Eric Allen is still with us. Injuries piling up for New England. Now they have the one loss. How vulnerable are they moving forward?
They are vulnerable. It's going to take them a period of time before they adjust to the personnel. I think what's the most important is finding on offense a back who can complement LeGarrette Blount. Maybe James White. I'm not sure if he's shifty enough, like Deion Lewis that they use. They really need that mismatch in the slot or in the backfield that can come out, really shake a linebacker and get that linebacker so nervous that he's not responsible for his techniques and be ready for the run. And so they can run the football. And he's not on the roster right now. But he is going to be on the roster on the playoff run some way, somehow. This team, and this is the one thing I really appreciate about this football team. And this loss was difficult and hard, but now it's not about the undefeated. Let the Carolina Panthers, handle all that. Now it's about getting this team ready to make this Super Bowl run. And believe me, they're going to be able to do it. Offensively, they'll find a way. Someone's going to step up. Tom Brady had 3 touchdowns last night. He's still doing his thing. Defensively, that's what surprised me. With a young quarterback, Denver did a great job of moving the pocket. So the game plan against this quarterback wasn't something that they can go back and look at film and prepare for. It was something new. Brock, 6'8", mobile guy, played basketball in high school, was a great athlete. So that's something they have to get used to. But believe me, this team will be ready. No other team that I've ever prepared for or seen in my 20-plus years of football does a better job of getting ready for situational football. No one does it better than this bunch, and they will be ready. And this is a bump in the road, but everyone's saying, they're done. It's fool's gold. This team will be back and be prepared for whatever team they face in the playoffs.
Stephen A.
Well, obviously you've been listening to Skip. You've been hanging around him a little bit too much, Eric, because anytime one of his favorite teams or one of his favorite players go down, it's the end of the world. It's Armageddon. What the hell has this world come to? I haven't heard a single soul say that the New England Patriots are done. I haven't heard a single soul sit up there and say that, now, okay, New England's not going to be able to do anything. We recognize their vulnerabilities because they've had like 10 or 11 different guys injured, about 5 that are out for the season. We don't know the status of Rob Gronkowski. Danny Amendola could very well end up coming back. And so when you look at it from that perspective, along with who they have on the defensive side of the ball, you hope that Jamie Collins and others will come back and do what they're capable of doing. But in the end, they've got a next man up mentality, and they always seem prepared, like you said, for situational football. Even when Gronk went out, what was one of the first things that Tom Brady did? As distressed as he appeared, bowing his head when he saw how Rob Gronkowski was writhing in pain on the turf. One of the first things he did was throw the football to Chandler Jones. So I look at it from the perspective that they're going to always have somebody that we didn't know about that's going to be capable of stepping up. Last night was an aberration. Consider the inclement weather. Consider the slippery ball. Consider the snow and all of that other stuff. Even though they're accustomed to dealing with it being in Foxborough, at the same time, conditions that are not ideal were not ideal. But in the end, do we see anyone in the AFC definitively gifted enough where you're comfortable saying that they'll march into Foxborough and knock off the New England Patriots in a playoff game? It remains to be seen. And so I look at it from that perspective and I say, okay, this has happened. It's a step back. But again, a lot more pressure is on you when you're unblemished, undefeated, and the expectations are for you to run the table. In this particular instance, I think with the New England Patriots, the fact that they have so many injuries and now they don't have to concern themselves with running the table, I think all of it can lend itself towards benefiting the New England Patriots, especially if Rob Gronkowski is going to end up back in the lineup.
Okay, which leads me to my conclusion here. I will sum it up succinctly, I hope, for you. If Rob Gronkowski is healthy, New England can and I believe will win the Super Bowl. If he is not, for whatever reason, if he's out for an extended period of time, they will not win the Super Bowl. Because if they lose home field, ultimately to the Denver Broncos, I'm not sure that Tom Brady, certainly without Rob Gronkowski, can go back to Denver and win a football game. This has been house of horrors for Tom Brady. He's now fallen to 2-6 at Denver. Everything just seems to go the wrong way in Denver for Tom Brady. It goes the wrong way for a lot of quarterbacks in Denver, but especially Tom Brady. So, look, last night he was throwing passes to people named Asante Cleveland and Keyshawn Martin, and Chris Harper, who muffed the punt. These are undrafted kids, okay?
Yeah.
All of them undrafted. You can get away with that. Tom Brady is so great, he can get away with that if he has number 87 to occupy two of the defenders. And Stephen A. is right. You just saw Brady's face fell when Gronkowski went down. And my only hope when he went down was that he was not connected with the turf, so it wasn't a state, you know, where his foot was stuck in the grass and he got hit sideways. It was a whiplash move and more of a hyperextension, but it can still, I've seen ACLs go that way. You have too.
That's right.
And so he's had an ACL before, and he thought it was gone or he wouldn't have been pounding the turf, right?
So you saw that, yeah.
And then, fortunately, via Adam Schefter, we're hearing from inside the Patriots sources saying it doesn't seem that serious. Now, I'm waiting for the MRI result to say it's not that serious. Could it be a bad sprain that would keep him out for 4 to 6? It could be. And without Amendola, without Edelman, I don't know when or if either will be back and how strong they'll be when they come back. And yet, they also lost Dante Hightower last night. He's their best run stopper because he runs so well sideline to sideline. You don't have Jamie Collins, the best athlete on defense, the best playmaker. So finally, C.J. Anderson was unleashed. After Hightower went out, I read the numbers to start the show. They ran wild on the Patriots defense, which, by the way, was leading the league in points allowed coming into that game.
And that's what concerns me more than actually the offensive injuries. I think they'll find a way to get by offensively every time they're in a great run. What seems to let them down is defense. Maybe a fourth quarter touchdown.
I agree.
Seen against the Giants.
All right.
Those losses in Denver. It all comes down to Bill Belichick, how he's able to design a defense to stop Peyton Manning or a mobile quarterback. In this instance, a versatile quarterback where you can move the launch pad, buy more time for your receivers to find spots downfield. And I think that's really the issue there.
So here's the question for both of you, all of you. Is Denver going to face a quarterback quandary? Is Peyton going to say, I'm okay in 2 or 3 weeks or whenever it is? I don't know, because it's feeling like they have privately committed. It just has the feel that they're going forward with this young man. And he's a young man, but he played like a man last night. So could they win the AFC with Brock Osweiler from your school, right?
Yeah, ASU. And the game plan works better Denver-wise with Brock, the running game, because you have to be able to come off of play action and roll the pocket. He's athletic enough to roll the pocket and escape pressure to give his guys opportunities downfield. So the offense runs better with him. I think you're going to come to an opportunity maybe week 4, maybe in 4 or 5 weeks, where Peyton says, hey, I'm ready to go. And there's going to be a question right there.
I agree.
And you have to make the correct decision for the football team. And Brock is the better fit for the Denver Broncos. I'm not sure if Elway or whoever to make that decision. That's what it's going to come down to.
All right.
It appears that Brock might be better right now because his arm is stronger and he's obviously healthier. But let's see what he does over the next few weeks. That's number one. Number two, I wanted to go back to the Gronk hit because there were some questions as to whether or not it was dirty. I didn't feel the hit was dirty at all. I didn't feel that defender went too low at all. And I applauded Brady for pointing that out, that in today's game, the way it's called, you have no choice as a defender but to go low.
Right.
It's unfortunate. He said what I've been saying for years, Skip. If you ask these players what they would prefer, they'd rather go high than low.
No doubt.
And so that's what it is too. So I mean, I just think it's one of those situations, and that's what concerns me about Gronk. He's not just big, Skip. He's tall. The people, I actually have gotten to a point, guys, where I think the guys that are safest in football are the short guys. Anybody that's tall that got some legs under them, you got problems.
Yep.
Because everybody can hit low. And I think that's one of the biggest problems that the New England Patriots have to. I mean, Chandler Jones and Gronkowski and all these boys, they got some size, some height on them.
Yeah.
I think that's the problem. The Edelmans and Amendolas of the world, they got to worry about the headshots.
You're okay with the hit, right?
Yeah, I am. I mean, because we forced that area now. It's prevalent. Yeah. So defenders have to find a way to get the big guy down. And I know some of the big guys would want you to go a little higher, obviously. Just unfortunate for...
Did you generally hit higher in your day?
No, I would go right under the knee. I would go right under the knee and make the offensive player basically helicopter. Mm-hmm. And that was kind of a way that you can take out a bigger offensive player without injuring.
Did you ever cause an injury inadvertently?
No, never. I went sometimes too low where the guy thought he had to jump over me.
Yeah.
You know, so you always have to make sure you're protecting yourself. But you know what? When you're on the football field, you are thinking about that offensive player. And you have maybe went to school with them or had some relationship with them. You don't want to hurt him either. Mm-hmm. So.
Well, you also got to remember, Skip, that Eric was out there trying to tackle people as opposed to lunging at them and trying to hit them. And I think that's one of the things that you have to monitor and watch out for when you're looking at defenders. It's rare that you see guys, when they're going low, literally try to wrap their arms around the leg even if they go low. What they're doing is they're lunging their body into that area, which makes it worse, in my opinion.
Okay, I want you both on the record. Who wins home field advantage throughout the playoffs in the AFC?
Patriots.
I'm going Patriots also.
Thank you.
All right.
Next question.
Osweiler is the lowest drafted quarterback to beat Tom Brady in prime time in over a decade. Obviously, snow and injury is a great equalizer. Next man up, also for the Colts. And Matt Hasselbeck leads the Colts to another win. So is Indy better off without any luck this season? That is the discussion next. Eric, thanks so much for being with us.
Always great.
Hear that?
You are increasingly annoying to me.
Will you open your eyes? I just don't know what to say. A dead clock is right twice a day. What are we gonna praise him for next? To the kind of damn cereal he eats for breakfast?